So filing concurrently means you're just turning in everything at once and you're saying to USCIS, give me my green card. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ozzy. If this is your very first time, welcome to this channel. On this channel, we talk all about how to get your US green card through the merit-based pathway called EB-2 NIW, which means employment-based, second preference, national interest waiver. So today we're going to talk a little bit about your filing options when it comes to EB-2 NIW, especially if you live in the US, right? So people always ask me, should I file just my I-140 first, or should I file concurrently? Filing concurrently means that you're filing both your application for alien worker using Form I-140 plus your adjustment of status form using Form I-485, right? It's called filing concurrently. So people ask me if they should file the I-140 first or if they should do everything together. And today we're going to talk about these options and some of the things that you can keep in mind if you're considering filing either way, right? Okay, so let's talk about filing I-140 by itself first. The very first thing that I want you to know is that if you're filing I-140, by itself first, you're probably, going to wait to hear from USCIS if that application was approved before you move to the next step, which is adjustment of status. So in order to file your I-140, you would need to go to www.uscis.gov/I-140, download the latest version of that form, and I want you to fill it out. And of course, write a petition to USCIS, telling them all the requirements for EB-2 NIW and how you meet each requirement, attaching all the evidence that you need to back up your claims, and of course, filling out ETA 9089. That's the labor certification form. And I want you to fill out only sections J to M. That's what is required, right? All of this information will be in the description portion. You see links to the different forms that will help you. Okay, so we just established that if you're filing I-140 by itself, you're going to, go to the website, download the latest version of Form I-140. You're going to write a petition, attach all your evidence to it, and of course the correct filing fee and ETA 9089 sections J to M. You're going to send that to an address in Texas and you're going to wait. Once that gets approved, then you're going to apply for adjustment of status. Now this information is only for people who are in the US, right? You cannot file concurrently if you're outside the US. The process is a little bit different. Now at the stage where you're adjusting your status, you need to turn in Form I-485, plus the medical check form, which is Form I-693, right? That is your record for vaccination and medical check. So they want you to turn in 485 and 693 together. Now there are some forms that you can include which are optional, but also free if filed with I-485. So forms like authorization for employment and advanced parole. So using I-765 and I-131, you can send this with your adjustment of status package. But filing I-140 by itself means that you're going to get a decision on I-140 before you then go ahead to adjust your status, right? On the flip side, filing concurrently means that you're turning in everything at once. So you're turning in your I-140, you're turning in your petition, all the evidence that you need, the filing fee, you're turning in your 485, of course you're turning in your ETA 9089, sections J to M, you're turning in your 485 for adjustment of status, and if you want, you can turn in your employment authorization or advanced parole applications using 765-131, and of course you're going to do your medical check using I-693 and turn that in as well. So filing concurrently means you're just turning in everything at once and you're saying to USCIS, give me my green card. Yeah, so you can do it either way. Now, what are some of the factors that people will consider before they do it either way, right? The first one is there's a cost difference, right? So a lot of people would say, you know what, I-140 alone will cost $700, right? Because it's only the principal petitioner that needs to do this. Only the principal petitioner needs to put in an application for Form I-140, application for alien worker, and it costs us $700. So they're going to be like, you know what, I can afford that for now, so I'll do that first. If you file for adjustment of status and you file for I-140 at the same time, everything concurrently, that means that at the time that you're turning in your petition or your application, you have to come up with the entire fee at that time. So that means, for instance, if you're turning in your I-140 at $700, the 485, $1,225, you're turning in your, you're doing your medical check, which could cost anything from $250, upwards. That's a lot of money for certain people. And so in that case, they will be like, you know what, let me save a little bit, submit I-140. Once that gets approved, I can then move to the next step. So there's a cost difference. You guys need to keep that in mind. Now, if you have dependents also, you know that you also have to account for your dependents and how much that's going to cost. And so most times people will decide to turn in I-140 first, and then that will give them time to save up a little bit so that once I-140 is approved, then they can go ahead to, work on all the aspects of the application. So that's one thing to consider. The second thing to consider is your confidence level, right? Some people are really confident about the applications. They feel like, you know what, I know I'm gonna get this. I feel like the stars have aligned in my favor and I'm doing really incredible work. I've written a really nice write-up. I want to go ahead and apply. Now, if that's you, you're really confident. You know that what you're doing is in the national interest. You've written it in layman's terms. It's easy for anyone to understand. Yes, go ahead and apply, right? You have nothing to lose. So if you know you can afford it and that you've done a really good job with that petition, of course, go ahead and apply concurrently. There's a third consideration, which is time, right? So a lot of time, some individuals are almost out of status, right? They're maybe a quarter to, let's say their immigration status is ending in 2 months, right? And then they wake up and they're like, you know what? I need to apply for EB-2 NIW. In that case, I will find that most individuals will go ahead and turn in everything concurrently because of that time crunch, because they're on such a deadline, right? I feel like that's another case that would make people turn in the applications right away. So if that's you, if you feel like you're working on such a strict timeline where you don't have so much time to even waste, or so much time to wait on USCIS to respond to you, which can take from anywhere from a couple months to like 7-8 months, hey, go ahead and turn in everything concurrently. Okay, so there's the time factor. So these are the 3 things that I would say really keep people back from turning in from I-140 by itself or turning in everything together concurrently. I would say it's the time factor, it's the cost, and of course, your confidence level. Okay, so these are some of the things that you need to consider when you're turning in your application. If you feel like, you know what, I have time, I'm a student right now, I'm still on my F1, or I still have time on my OPT, 3 years, yes, definitely go ahead and turn in your I-140 and wait. You have the advantage of time. But if you feel like, you know what, this stuff is gonna take too long, I'm just like, I need to save time. And honestly, you probably will save like a couple of weeks, because usually when your I-140 gets approved, it probably takes a week or 2 to get that notice in the mail. And then from there, you just turn in if you already prepared your documents for the next step, you go ahead and turn it in. If you didn't prepare your documents for the next step, for example, if you haven't done the medical check, then maybe you set that up and it'll take a couple more weeks before you send everything in, saving you, 2-3 weeks. So if you feel like it's going to save you time and you feel like you have the money to afford it and you're confident about your petition, then of course, go ahead and file concurrently. I hope this has been helpful information for you guys. And we're going to go ahead and answer some questions from our YouTube channel. Okay, so someone said in the comment section on one of my videos on YouTube, hello, I want to ask you a favor. As you say in the video, can you review my petition letter? If you are available, where should I send my petition letter to? Okay, that's a really good question. If you would like me to review your petition letter, please go to the website www.myeb2niw.com, and you can click on our services or our shop icon and you'll see one of the options for reviewing petition letters, right? You can go ahead and click on that and you'll have all the information that you need. It's all available on our website, www.myeb2niw.com. www.myeb2niw.com. The next question says, how long does the process take? Is there an option for premium service with fast processing? We're definitely going to talk about premium processing on the very next video, so you want to stay tuned for that. But the short answer is yes. Premium processing is now available for EB-2 NIW. That's great news. I know a lot of people have been waiting on that. And we're going to give you all the juice on that on our very next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.